kidding. I don't know if I'm gonna leave that in. What's up, everybody? I'm here now. You can see me now. I was just looking so mesmerizing. I forgot to put it on the right live screen. Um, we are here talking about fetal abduction, which also ultimately ends up starting from like murder, kidnapping into fetal abduction. We'll go over since we've already wasted a good amount of time, we're gonna do the intro. And then after we do the intro, we'll come back and I'll go over the definition of fetal abduction, just in case you didn't watch my last video. All right. I kind of hate how sharp it stops, but I do it every time. Like I'll be, oh, that would have been such a great. Maybe it was a shitty introduction, but it would have been better if you saw my face while I was doing it. So fetal abduction refers to a rare crime of child abduction by the kidnapping of an at-term pregnant woman and extraction of her fetus through a crude cesarean section. Okay? So fetal abduction is when you take the fetus from a pregnant woman crudely. And ultimately, most of the time, the mother dies, and a couple of the cases that I read, the baby didn't make it. So this happened recently. Recently, this happened in um, Michigan. 22-year-old Rebecca Park, who was approximately 38 weeks pregnant, was allegedly killed on November 3rd in Michigan. Details are yet to be determined by the court. The baby did not survive. Rebecca Park's body was found on November 25th at Manistee National Forest. Okay, so, but I went and looked it up, and this case is a little bit worse than we thought. So I found this. Rebecca Park murder, mom accused of killing pregnant daughter, then cutting her open because she wanted the baby due in court. Okay. I didn't even show it to you yet. I'm losing my mind. Yep. Okay. This is what we're sourcing right now. Rebecca Park, Cortney Bartholomew will appear for a competency hearing on May 5th to determine if she is fit to stand trial after being charged with murder. And this was published a couple days ago. This is Rebecca. This is Cortney. She looks a little crazy. Okay, Cortney Bartholomew, 40, will appear for a competency hearing on May 5th, that is tomorrow, and a preliminary hearing on May 22nd after being charged with the murder in connection with the death of Rebecca Park. She is accused of killing her pregnant daughter and cutting out the baby so she could adopt a child with her sex offender husband. How much do you want to bet that baby is the husband. That is a dark thought, but why else would you harm your child, your grandchild? Why else would you do something that crazy? Okay. A Michigan mom accused of murdering her pregnant daughter and then cutting her unborn child out of the womb is set to appear in court next week. Courtney Bartholomew, 40, will appear for a competency hearing on May 5th at Wexford County 84th District Church Court to see if she is fit to stand trial, and then again on May 22nd for a preliminary hearing in her case, according to the court records obtained by People. She is accused of killing Rebecca Park, the biological daughter that she gave up for adoption at birth, but reconnected with later in life. I say I have mixed feelings about adoptive adoptive people going back to find their family. In some instances, you might be better off. Some. Um, and I say that to say, yeah, some instances. My kids actually have a sibling that their dad, who passed 9, this will be 9 years ago. Oh yeah, this will be 9 years ago past 2017, New Year's Eve, he passed. And when he passed, his girlfriend was 4 months pregnant. Um, and he passed. She then had the baby. In a way, was kind of hustling his family, trying to hustle his family. They wasn't really having it. But in the end, she ended up giving the baby to her cousin to take care of. Her cousin adopted the baby and ultimately told, from what she said to me, the cousin, was that our children, she will not know my kids to be her siblings, right? That's what she told. She said it would be too confusing to explain it to her now, and she won't get it, so why put her through it? I argued, why put her through it later? She may not understand what happened to her dad, but all she really needs to understand is that her dad passed. Mommy, bio mommy, you have two mommies, the mommy that brought you into this world and the mommy that took care of you. Mommy couldn't take care of you, so I stepped in. Because they're all family, right? They're all family. Um, but I think it was kind of a this thing, because my kids are mixed. They are that child would have been white and Puerto Rican. Then she would have my children that are mixed Puerto Rican and black, which, in all honesty, my kids look way more Puerto Rican than they do black. I probably would have to prove that I'm their mother before anyone else can prove anything else. Like if she were born and I say, "Yeah, come on, you can hang with us," no one will question me if she was mine. No one. Because they'd be like, "Oh, she blends in perfectly." She wouldn't have known. If she'd have came and stayed with me, she wouldn't have known. My kids did not it was never a question, why is mommy black and we extremely light skinned, Puerto Rican light skinned, like colonizer light skinned my kids are. But whatever. I think so. She went to find mom. Mom don't look right. And mom, that's crazy. Why would you? Oh, that poor girl. That's so dark. Damn. See, when you go looking for the details and you actually find them in real time, that's crazy. She went to find her birth mom murdered her child and tried to take the baby. So I take back what I said at first because as you get more information, you become more informed. And yes, I take that back. Why would you do something like that? That's insane. Oh, God. Be with her family that took care of her, be with them, take care of them, cover them. That's crazy. All right, where was I? She is accused of killing Rebecca Park, the biological daughter that she gave up for adoption at birth, but reconnected with her later in life. Oh, that breaks my heart. The 22-year-old was last seen the night of November 3rd, which is when prosecutor claim Cortney lured Rebecca to her home by texting her a photo of an $18,000 check that she claimed as part of her inheritance from her grandmother, according to a copy of the probable cause affidavit obtained by People. Rebecca, who was 38 weeks pregnant when she went missing, was found dead a few miles away from Courtney's home on November 25th, 3 days after she was due to give birth. Oh, God. All right, she got little tattoos on the face. She a little hood. Okay. Well, maybe not hood, but tattoos on your face when it's such a cute face. What's wrong with you? Rebecca, who was 38 weeks pregnant when she went missing, was found dead a few miles away from Courtney's home on November 25th, 3 days after she was due to give birth. The probable cause affidavit noted that Rebecca's belly would have had been sliced open, but there was no sign of the baby or a fetus. Courtney was taken in for questioning soon after and initially denied any involvement in the murder, but changed her story after being informed that the cell phone evidence placed her at the crime scene on the night of her murder. Once confronted with that evidence, Courtney allegedly admitted to cutting the fetus out of Rebecca's womb. According to the probable cause affidavit, she told authorities that she believed the father of the child was her 47-year-old husband, Bradley Bartholomew, who is not related to Rebecca. So my that was my initial thought was man, I didn't know she was adopted and then reconnected. My initial thought was that they were all living together. Dad was husband was abusing her daughter. The daughter, the baby, she thought the baby was her husband's, and instead of kicking the husband to the curb, she took it out on her. That's what my thought was. Apparently, she's crazy and might have thought that too. I don't know if that makes me crazy. I mean, I would never. But yeah, Courtney alleged in her interview that Bradley, 47, killed Rebecca by forcing her pregnant daughter into a car and stabbing her multiple times. Then, while Rebecca was still alive, Courtney said that she started to cut the baby out as Bradley held a knife to Rebecca's throat, according to the affidavit. Did Bradley get arrested? The baby did not survive outside of the womb and was disposed of in a dumpster. Ugh, poor baby. Courtney told investigators while Rebecca passed away moments after being cut open, she was pushed down an embankment and covered with leaves. Courtney alleged that the plot was masterminded by Bradley to extract revenge on Rebecca's boyfriend because he reported him for parole violation. And court records obtained by people do show that Bradley received a 180-day sentence for an unspecified violation. Bradley had a different story. However, he allegedly told authorities that his wife planned the fetal attack because she wanted the child and they could not adopt because he is a sex offender on a registry, according to the affidavit. The affidavit also said investigators discovered that Courtney had been telling people she gave birth to a baby and later that she lost the baby shortly after Rebecca's death. And yes, he looks like a PDF. Courtney and Bradley are charged each with one count first degree murder, felony murder, torture, conspiracy to commit torture, assault on a pregnant individual causing miscarriage, stillbirth, and conspiracy to commit assault on a pregnant individual causing miscarriage slash stillbirth. Each of those charges carries a possible life sentence in prison. They need a death penalty. They are also charged with one count each of unlawful imprisonment and removal of a dead body. Both have entered not guilty pleas to all charges. Everyone looks the part. Rebecca Park was pregnant with her stepdad's child, mom claims, as she allegedly confessed to cutting baby out of womb. Should we? Should we read it? Let's hit that link, people. Okay. Rebecca Park was pregnant with her stepdad's child, mom claims, as she allegedly confesses to cutting baby out of womb. Courtney Bartholomew, 40, allegedly confessed to investigators that she cut her grandson out of Rebecca's womb, according to the affidavit. I don't think she would have done that willingly. Look at her. Why would she? Why would she? Why are you? It can't be that much of a drought out here, ladies. Even if you crazy looking, like there can't be. Like, come on. Oh my god. I wish. Side story. I wish I could show you the episode of Hoarders that came on my YouTube this morning. This woman, I just don't. I'm not saying I'd rather be alone, but if that's what's left in the pool, I'm gonna just stay on the side of the pool. I'm not jumping in that water. This woman is dating a man. I believe he has his own apartment at least. But as soon as this man started talking, it gave off gay. Hold on. Yeah. Um well, yeah, but it's enough fries in there that you could get some. I don't think she's gonna eat all of those fries. Just leave her the last thingy. Okay. Okay. Maybe we need to do a video on the desperation that's happening out here. She's the woman is dating a man that he can't finish nothing that he starts. He starts all these hobbies and tasks and then doesn't finish them. And the hobby that he was a part of, I instantly said PDF. The man played Warhammer, where he made the little figurines for the game. Instantly thought Stephen Stearns, and I was like, "Girl, run." Okay, he starts mad hobbies, like, he thought he was gonna make beer, then he was doing Warhammer, then he was doing making knives, he starts all of these things, doesn't finish any of them, but also is a hoarder on top of it. On top of all of it, he's a hoarder. And then when he starts talking, he has that soft, "I'm a soft man" voice, like, I just wanna make sure I get all of this handled, my hoarding handled so she can move in with me now. And I'm like, "Girl, run. Absolutely run the opposite direction right now. It cannot be that tough." There is not a bone in her body that's like, "I wanna sleep with that man." Not a bone. Like, he's sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce, going through his messy hoard, trying to figure out what he's gonna throw away. And I'm like, I'm watching TV, looking at her like, "Best friend, no, don't do it. You're not gonna get a child out of him. And even then, do you really wanna try and make a child with him? And then even then, he's gonna be the 3rd child, the 2nd child. Don't do it." That's what I got lucky. Okay, my baby daddy was cute. He was very cute. Too fucking cute. Okay, too cute. And he knew it, but he was not in a Warhammer, and he didn't have a soft ass voice. He didn't wanna work. He wanted to hustle. He didn't wanna work for anybody, but he didn't have the drive to work for himself. But he was cute, and he had some bass in his voice, and he didn't play Warhammer. That's like an instant, like, if that's a hobby you have, mm-mm, nope, no, no, no. But I say this to say, why was she okay, look at this. Why was she mess with that? Okay, I get why. Where's mom at? They gotta have I get why she I get why she was keeping that around. 'Cause who else? I get why he was staying around her. She was attached to that. I get why. What were the circumstances that you connected back with mom? Crazy. Okay? Need to know. Courtney Bartholomew, 40, allegedly confessed to cutting her unborn child of her daughter Rebecca Park, 22, out of her womb the night of the murder. She claimed that she wanted to give birth. She claimed that she wanted to give the baby to Rebecca's fiance, Richard Blayler, whom Courtney previously had an affair with, while she alleged to investigators. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. Courtney also alleged, per an affidavit, that her husband, Bradley Bartholomew, 47, was the father of his stepdaughter's unborn baby. So this was really, if she thought this, none of this other shit mattered. Like, if she thought this, all of this is mute. Okay? If she thought that. The mother of Rebecca Park allegedly confessed to cutting the unborn baby out of her daughter's womb and then witnessing her murder, per affidavit reviewed by People. Courtney Bartholomew, 40, initially denied any involvement in the murder of the biological daughter she gave up for adoption as an infant, but changed her story after police informed her that cell phone evidence placed her at the location where Rebecca's body was found on the night of her murder. Rebecca went missing just before midnight on November 3rd from Cortney's Michigan home and was found dead a few miles away on November 25th, 3 days after she was due to give birth. In her second interview with Wexford County Sheriff's Office, Cortney allegedly admitted to using the scalpel and cutting the fetus out of Rebecca's womb, according to a copy of the probable cause affidavit obtained by People. The affidavit goes on to say that Cortney claimed her motivation in doing so was to save the baby's life and give the baby to Rebecca's fiance. And you just made that shit up. Ain't nothing wrong with you because your dumb ass know how to lie. She also allegedly told police that the father of the baby was her husband and Rebecca's stepfather, Bradley Bartholomew, per affidavit. Brad said it was his. Cortney allegedly told officials the the allegation came on the heels of both Cortney and Rebecca's sister, Kimberly, 21, allegedly telling investigators that they previously had affairs with Valor. Who's Valor? Is that is that his name? Wait, who had affairs? I can't be following stuff. The allegation came on the heels of both Courtney and Rebecca's sister, Kimberly, 21, allegedly telling investigators that they previously had affairs with Valor. They were cheating with Valor, the baby, her fiance. Courtney also alleged, per the affidavit, that it was Bradley, 47, who murdered Rebecca, claiming he forced the pregnant daughter into a car and repeatedly stabbed her before she set about cutting Rebecca's unborn baby from her womb. When she cut the baby out, Courtney said that Rebecca was still conscious and Bradley was holding a knife to her throat. Courtney allegedly told police the baby was not breathing when she cut it out. I don't believe her. Rebecca's body was then shoved down an embankment and covered in leaves. She was found 3 weeks. They just left her there. 3 weeks later, Courtney alleges that Bradley murdered Rebecca as a form of retaliation against Valor, who allegedly reported Bradley for violating a condition of his release as a convicted sex offender. So Valor, okay, Courtney's fiance, no, Rebecca's fiance, reported Bradley for parole violations and he got sent to jail. And then when he got out of jail, Bradley and Courtney killed Rebecca to get back at Valor. Rebecca and his baby to get back at Valor. Then came up with it's Bradley's baby. Court records obtained by People show that Bradley received a 180-day sentence for unspecified violation related to his being a sex offender. He probably ain't supposed to be around nobody, no kids. As far as the baby, Courtney allegedly told investigators that the fetus was placed in a cooler and then in a trash bag before being discarded in a dumpster, according to the affidavit. So, why is, you know, It just, you know, we're all children of God. I'm just picturing, I don't know why I'm picturing not this. God. Cortney said she never stabbed Rebecca, but allegedly admitted to the injuries she sustained from cutting her open would have been hard to survive. She also alleged to investigators that Bradley said he planned to cut Rebecca's child out of the womb in front of Richard a few months prior to the murder. All right, Bradley is crazy and a PDF. Bradley allegedly told authorities his wife masterminded the operation and was motivated by her desire for other children, according to the affidavit. He said that the couple could not adopt because he was a sex offender. Investigators found text messages that Courtney sent to her sister prior to Rebecca's murder, in which she claimed to have given birth to the baby that was being treated in neonatal intensive care unit at a local hospital. She texted her sister to report the baby had died soon after the death of Rebecca's baby. So she was lying and telling everybody she was pregnant. She texted her other daughter. She texted her sister. So it's planned. You had a whole plan. You're texting your sister to say that you gave birth and the baby's in the NICU, and then go harm your daughter, take her baby, and then when that baby don't survive, tell everybody that the baby died in the NICU. So how are you pleading crazy when you had a whole plan? She texted her sister to report that the baby had died soon after the death of Rebecca's baby. It is still unclear when Rebecca died, however. Investigators believe she may have still been alive after the person or persons responsible left the scene that night. Wexford County Prosecutor Joanne Cray described the murder as evil personified at a court hearing, arguing against Courtney and Bradley being offered bail. Nah, they don't need bail. Lock their asses up. She called it a case of premeditated torture and murder, alleging that the Bartholomews created a plan and conducted research. Courtney allegedly lured Rebecca to the home by showing her a photo of an $18,000 check she said was part of an inheritance from her grandmother, investigators said. Courtney and Bradley now each face one count first degree murder, felony murder, torture, conspiracy to commit torture, assault on a pregnant individual causing miscarriage and stillbirth, and conspiracy to commit assault on a pregnant person, pregnant individual. I ain't even gonna get into it. Why I gotta say woman? Pregnant individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth. Each of those six charges carry a possibility of possible life sentence in prison. They are also charged with one count each unlawful imprisonment and removal of a dead body. Kimberly is charged with tampering with evidence, lying to a police officer, and filing a false report. She is currently on house arrest after her bail was reduced from 750,000 to 5,000. That's crazy. The public defender office representing Courtney, Bradley, and Kimberly did not respond to people's requests for comment. Courtney Ian Bradley continued to be held without bail in Wexford County Jail. It got worse and worse the more I read. Worse and worse. So maybe, hopefully, I don't think I'm not gonna be able to watch court because I gotta go to work tomorrow. But maybe I'll be able to like do an update on it. Um, it's it literally got worse and worse the more you read. Um, so it looks like she found her later in life. Ah, it's it's just messy all the way around. Kimberly should have minded her fucking business. Why was why was Valor in jail? Why is well maybe they just have a the only picture they have of him is a mugshot, but shouldn't he should be like a victim. Why are they showing his mugshot? That's allegedly his kid. So he's technically a victim. Why are they showing his mugshot? But ooh, that's some messy, messy stuff right there. Messy, messy, messy. Um, Still prayers go to the mom. That baby is where in the arms of the people the Lord or whoever you believe in has the baby. It's in his hand, got the whole world. Um, yeah, that is I don't know. I'm kind of the world is so fucking ugly. I gotta find something um uplifting to read. Okay, after this, I gotta go find like a meditation or something to remind me that the world is not as ugly as this. This is just one ugly part of the world, and the rest of it ain't that. But yes, please hit the like button, please, please. Um, please subscribe if you'd like. It'd be nice. Please. Um, this is a crazy case. It's only gonna get worse. There's only more information to kind of find out. Um, it's horrible. All right, but we'll leave this here. Um, hopefully, hopefully they just own up and just you know where you're going, so just go there. Okay, you know where you're about to spend the rest of your life. None of them need to hit these streets again, but that's for a jury to decide if they take it that far. I don't think they will. I think they just waiting for the right opportunity to cop that plea. Um, I definitely would not take that to court. They're gonna find her competent because you did a little bit too much lying for me to say you ain't know what you was doing. Too much lying. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is horrible. You're not liking the content. You're liking the I don't know storytelling. I don't know, but I don't see this out there as much. So help push it out there a little bit more. Make people more aware, and fight for justice for Rebecca and that baby. Um, because somebody need to speak up for them and make sure justice. Somebody said if we don't make noise about certain cases, it just gets swept under the rug, and people they just gonna cut a deal and they don't get the time that they deserve. They deserve life, no parole. They don't need to ever be out in these streets again. But you know how shit is. Okay, we all know how shit is. I just can't imagine doing that to my grandbaby at all. Like, yeah, you're fucking crazy, but you ain't insane, right? You're fucking dumb, but you ain't insane. Um, but yeah, leave her ass in that insane asylum and then we'll find when she realize where she about to be, she gonna be like, "Nah, nah, I'll go to regular jail. Put me in regular jail." Watch. That's what's gonna happen. But yeah, please like, subscribe, leave me a couple of comments. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you on the next one. Um, I don't even know like what could be worse than this. I might do a little update. I got some thoughts on that Tanner Horner case now. Apparently the defense has rested. I think they did their rebuttal case. It might be out to the jury. I don't think it's gonna take long. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. There's probably one old lady with a bleeding heart in there. Fucking stitch that shit up and send him where he needs to go, please. But yeah, I will see you all on the next one. Bye. I don't know how to end it. How do I end it? Bye. Ding, 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 ding.